The House seat in Alaska, there's only one seat, so that makes her technically more powerful than the two senators up there. But there is a real, she'll tell you about it, but I think there's something like 50 candidates in that race. It's all mail-in ballot. It's a struggle up there. I'm so delighted she gave us some time to come down here. Let me introduce one of the great American heroes, one of the great supporters of America First, one of the great supporters of Donald Trump, Governor Sarah Palin. Thank you.
Everything that is going on in Georgia, it is so important. It is so important for the electorate to do its job and show up on Tuesday and take our country back, take your state back. That position of governor is so very important when we talk about election integrity, and that should be first and foremost on everyone's mind, what we can do to ensure the integrity of our elections, because you cannot exercise democracy within our republic when you don't have the fair elections that the electorate deserves. And of course, David Perdue, he, with his priorities being truth and letting the people's will be first and foremost in his agenda, on his agenda, it's so important. Kemp had opportunity to do something about the shenanigans that had gone on in this past election. I don't know why he was so hesitant, why he kind of just went along to go along, and that's unfortunate. We can count on David Perdue to do opposite of that, but to challenge the status quo. Ronald Reagan had said status quo, that's Latin for the mess that we're in. And we are in a mess, not just in our individual states, but the country as a whole. So David, being a leader of the America First movement, he was America First before America First was cool. He knew then to support what it was that Donald Trump was standing for, the Trump movement, that the people were backing, that the people so recognized was most important for our country. And David was right there in the forefront from the beginning. I was really happy too that, of course, President Trump endorsed David Perdue, and I talked to him a couple of times in the past couple of weeks, and we talked about election integrity. We talked about these individual states, how important it is that we have the right governors in our state capitals, mentioning David Perdue also, and Trump's like, can you imagine if all of us are in position at the same time, what it is that we'd be able to accomplish? And I think that has the left get their heads exploding about now, because they don't want to see that. They don't want to see David Perdue in office, because he will come up against that status quo, that machine that has been compromised, that political machine that's been compromised. He's doing what he's had to do for years, and I too, in my own political career, up against a good old boy network. You don't make a lot of friends within the party establishment when you challenge those who you believe, those who you know could and should be doing a much better job for the voters of their state. So I so respect that in David, that he's bold, he's courageous. He has a wonderful family, his wife being so supportive, and she's a wonderful woman, and I would like to say behind every strong, successful man stands a surprise woman. So you have the right partner there, David, in what it is that you need as a team to be willing to serve. And he is willing to serve. He could be doing anything else in the world, you guys. And here he making sacrifices for Georgia in order to make sure the will of the people is heard, it's adhered to, and that's how Georgia is taken back. So, it's an honor to get to be here. And, I think voters hopefully, in this, we're at the end game here on the 24th, for this primary, they need to remember who's in the best position to defeat Stacey Abrams. Because if she were to be in office, man, she'd be making Biden look like this genius, with all these great ideas. And no, what Stacey has already been a part of, this commitment to fundamentally transform America, via our states, that's a scary thought. You only fundamentally transform something for which you have disdain. You actually want to get rid of what it is and reinvent. They're talking about our country is what they want to do, and she's a part of that movement. So very, very important that Georgia voters keep that in mind. Who is best positioned? Who has the courage? Who has the boldness? Who has Trump's backing, too, to defeat Stacey Abrams? And I'm asking that as, 5,000 miles away up in Alaska. I'm asking that Georgia keep that in mind, because what goes on in your state capital, it really does affect the rest of the nation. It's not just Georgia on my mind. Georgia is on the mind of, collectively, the United States of America. Everybody's going to be watching what happens on Tuesday. So, you have the right candidate here in David Perdue. It's my absolute honor to get to be just a little tiny, tiny part of this, to lend whatever support I can and hopefully help the cause, not hurt the cause. And I'm very, very pleased to get to be here. You guys have a beautiful state. I hope you don't just take it for granted. Absolutely gorgeous and wonderful, wonderful, hard-working, common sense, constitutional conservatives everywhere I look. And that's refreshing. So I'm happy to be here. Very, very happy to get to shake hands again with your next governor, David Perdue.